Hello friends, welcome to the course on C programming. This is the last video on the last chapter of this course of file management. This is part 2 of file management. In our previous video, part 1, we have seen the fundamental aspects behind the file management. We saw why exactly we need to write something into the file, why exactly we need to store the data permanently, and how to store it. Now in this video we are going to see little advanced topic on file management. We'll be seeing how numbers are written into the file, how numbers are read from the file. Then we'll see that how entire structures can be written into the file, how entire structures can be read from the file, and at the end we'll be seeing an example of how a file can be accessed randomly, how even out of 100 records how 50th record can be read without affecting those first 49 records. So those kind of concept we'll see in this video. And before we start, in fact, let me tell you this: all those programs that we have seen in our entire course which are available, I have put them make them available on GitHub. So you can find the link in the description part of this video, so you can go through those link and you can download all these programs, so that you don't need to rewrite them again, so you can directly run them and check whether the programs run the way I have explained or not. Now let us start uh, writing numbers into the file, and then we're reading those numbers from the file. So in earlier case it was about character. In last video we've seen how characters are written into the file using putc function, and how characters are read back from the file using getc function. So for character it is getc and putc, read and print, and in case of integer numbers it's getw and putw. So this is the only difference. In case of character it is getw putw. In case of integer it is in case of character it is getc putc, and in case of integer it is getw putw. Now let us understand the small program. So we have a program in which we are opening a file called data.txt. Now, and in write mode, we have seen in our previous video how a particular file can be opened and how the address of that particular file is stored in a pointer. So a file called data.txt has been created in writing mode, means we are going to write something. Now we are asking the user to enter 5 numbers. So this loop will be repeated 5 times. I equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 5 different numbers will be read from keyboard. And all these numbers are put w number, that number into fp. fp means with file data.txt. So all those 5 numbers will be printed, will be written in the file data.txt, and then we close the file. So when we run the program, you are going to get enter 5 numbers, and then if I enter 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, so all these numbers will be stored in the file, and then we close the file. Then again let us open the file, but now this time the mode is read mode. Earlier case we opened it in write mode because we wanted to write all these things into the file. So now we are reading it, and for reading again instead of put w we use get w. So get w and file pointer. So it will read all these number one by one, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and those numbers will be stored in n. Like for example, first time it is 10. So that 10 is stored in n. Check 10 is great end of file. No, 10 is not end of file. So it will print. Next time when it runs get w, it will read 20. So 20 is end of file, no. 30 is end of file, no. 40 is end of file, no. 50 is end of file, no. But after 50 we know that the last character, last number would be end of file. So then it will come out and close the file. But by the time 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 have already been printed. Now let us extend this program. The same program, the earlier program wherein we have stored numbers into the file. Now what I want to do is, in this particular program I want to store numbers into a file, then I want to read those number, and based on odd and even number, because we know that 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 are odd numbers, like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 are even numbers, and 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 are odd numbers. So I want to create two different files, odd and even. And if the number is odd, it should go to odd file, and if the number is even, it should go to even file. So this is something, a simple concept that I want to implement. So for that I have three file pointers, fp1, fp2, fp3, because this is my original data file. It contains all those data, whether odd or even, will be having them, and then we'll be having two pointer, one for odd and other for even, or vice versa. So now I am having fp1 equal to f open data.txt write mode. So a data.txt, that is a file wherein all those numbers, whether odd or even, all those numbers are stored. And then what we are doing is we are reading all these number one by one. For example, in this case we have only 5 numbers, but later on you can have 50 numbers, or you can have 100 numbers, and all these 5 numbers are read and they are put in fp1. What is fp1? fp1 is data.txt, and then after this thing we'll be closing fp1, means we'll be closing data.txt. So when I run the program, I'll be entering 10 first time, so that 10 goes to fp1, next time 11, then 12, then 13, then 14. All these numbers will be stored in fp1. fp1 means data.txt, and then the file is closed. So this data.txt file is ready. It has got 5 numbers in it. Now, so this is the data.txt with 5 numbers. But if you open it, you will not, because in integer they don't store it like a character, so you don't see exact. But when you run the program, you will going to get the output. So now what am I doing is I am opening 3 files. The data.txt, the original file wherein the data is there, but now that is in read mode, means I am going to read all this number one by one, and based on whether it is odd or even. For example, 10 is even, 11 is odd, 12 is even, 13 is odd, and 14 is even. So based on that, either I'll send the data to this file even.txt or in odd.txt. This is very simple. So what am I doing is I am now trying to read all these numbers one by one from fp1. So fp1 get w number. So first it will read 10, and that 10 is stored in n, and check this 10 is not equal to end of file. Yes, it is not equal to end of file. So then 10 modulo 2 equal to 0. Now I am checking whether it is odd or even. So 10 modulo 2 is 0, no, or yes. It is yes, because 10 modulo 2, 10 is even number. When I divide the number by 2, I am going to get the remainder 0. So this is the case. So I'll be putting n into fp2. What is fp2? fp2 is even. So that 10 will go in fp2. The next time when I read it, it will be 11. 11 will be there in n. So check 11 modulo 2 equal to 0. No. In that case, it will come to else part and it will put 11 in fp3. What is fp3? fp3 is odd. So 10 will go in fp2 or even, and 11 will go in odd. Then likewise 12 will go in even, 13 will go in odd, and 14 will go in even. And then all these files are closed. F close fp1, fp2, fp3. So now we have 2 more files ready. Even.txt having 10, 12 and 14, and odd.txt having 11 and 13. So now in the last part of this program, I'll be reading all these contents from even and then odd. This simple. So first is I'm trying to open even.txt, but now this is the mode, read mode. Earlier it was write mode, because we wrote something into this file. So now let us open the file in read mode, and then the same statement n equal to get w, but from fp2, and just keep on reading and print. So what we are going to get is 10, 12 and 13. So it will print even numbers, and then 10, 12 and 13. And in next time we are opening the odd.txt file. Again in which mode? Read mode. And then I'll be reading all those numbers one by one, but there are only 2 numbers, 11 and 13. So that will be printed over here. Odd numbers, a message will be there, odd numbers, and then 11 and 13. 11 first time and 13 second time, and then we close. So this program looks little longer, but it is very simple to understand. Now let us try to see how entire structure can be written into a file and how entire structure can be read from the file. If you are not aware of structure, I think you should go to the chapter structure We have 2 videos on it, so you can refer that chapter. So now we are using the same structure that we have used in that chapter, including even the same values. We have used same values, I think, in that chapter. So we have a structure with 3 members, roll number, name and CPI, and then we are creating 2 structures of this type student, S1 and S2. S1 is initialized to 53 Pradeep 8.7 and S2 is blank. So now how to write? So now I am having S1, a structure with 3 member 53 Pradeep 8.7. all right, then what am I doing is I'm opening a file student.txt in write mode. Now to write entire structure, we don't use put C, we don't use put W, we use fwrite. So fwrite is file write. So what are you going to do is we are going to provide 4 different arguments. The first one is fp from the left. Fp means we are going to print this in fp file. Fp means student.txt file. This one is nothing but the total elements. The total element is the one structure. Then how many bytes you are going to write? Size of S1. So size of S1 is 2 plus 20 plus 4. 2 for integer, 20 for characters and 4 for float. So 2 plus 20, 22 plus 4, 26. So this will be 26. And which structure you want to write? So S1. So we'll be specifying address of S1. So when I do this, this entire structure will be copied into the file, will be written into the file fp means student.txt. Then we close the file. So student.txt is having 53 Pradeep 8.7. So that is copied into student.txt file. Now next is, now again I open the same file, but now this mode is read, means now I want to read contents. So for that again the function is fread, and the similar same argument, but instead of S1 now we are going to read it into another variable. That variable is S2. So ampersand S2, size of S2. Of course we are going to read in one structure variable from fp. Fp is nothing but student.txt. So that data will be copied into S2, and then if I print S2.roll number, name and CPI, so what am I going to get? 53 Pradeep and 8.7. So in output I'll be getting 53 Pradeep and 8.7. So this is a small example stating how you can write whole structure into a file and how you can read whole structure from the file using fwrite and fread respectively. Now random access to file. This is very interesting. Sometimes from exam point of view also this is a very interesting topic. Random access is very simple to understand. Accessing the file randomly. Supposing there are 10 elements in your file. Now if you want to, now sequential access means you go one by one. You refer first, you refer second, you refer third item, then you refer fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. This is a sequential access. But supposing you want to access record number 7 directly, then after accessing record number 7 you want to go to record number 3. After accessing record number 3 you want to go to record number 10. So this is something random access. You are not sure and you want to jump from one location to another, then it's a random access to file. Now let's try to understand how this can be done. So we'll be having the same program that we have taken in our last video. So there is a text called I love India. So I'll be storing that text into the file. So for that a very simple logic is used. We use I equal to 0 and str0, str1, str2, str3. str0 is I space L. So all these characters will be written one by one into this file fp, and fp is nothing but test.txt. So in test.txt file, sorry, I guess over here it is data.txt. So means if it is test.txt, it has to be test.txt only. So you consider test.txt here. So we have I love India. Now if I refer the location, I is the 0th location, space is first, L is second, then O is third, V is fourth, E is fifth. Then after this we have between love and India we have space. So that space is 6, I and D I A, that 11, and on 12 what is it? This is end of file. So these are the location that you need to understand because we need them. So starting from 0 all the way up to 12, 12 is end of file. Now let us try to access the data randomly. So again I'm opening fp equal to f open test.txt, but now this is read mode. Now there is a concept like absec. Absec is like you can imagine a imaginary pointer over here, because that pointer is nothing but when you open a file, that pointer is set to the very first location. All right, and when you read something, actually you are reading the contents which are being pointed by the pointer. Right, so if I want to read D, for example, I need to move that pointer from here to here. All right, so for that the function is absec. The function is absec. Now if I write absec fp -1 secant, now secant is nothing but the end of the file. So from end of the file, move one position minus. So what is end of the file? 12, this thing. So the pointer is over here. Move one position minus. Minus means in negative direction. So now the pointer is over here, where on A. So it is from end, move one position minus, in which file? fp test.txt. And then there is a function called ftell, and that will tell you the location number. So right now the location is over. Which is the location? 11. So when you use ftell and put it over here in print, so what you are going to get is 11. So ftell will give you 11. And then if you read a file using getC, if you read a character, so what are you going to get? A. So that A is stored in getch. And after reading, the pointer is automatically incremented. This is something that you need to remember. After reading, the pointer is automatically incremented. So this function will print 11, that is the location number, and this function will print the character itself, A. Now let us rerun the program. Sorry, let us add one more code. absec fp3 sic set. Sic set means the initial position. What is initial position? 0. And from that, move 3 position positive. In earlier case, it was 1 negative. Negative means move into the left side, and positive means move into the right side. So from beginning, move 3 position, 1, 2, 3. So now my cursor is over here, my pointer is over here. So now if I write ftell, what am I going to get? The location 3. And if I read the character, what character I am going to get? O. So in case of ftell, I am going to print 3, and that character ch is nothing but O. Then third is rewind fp. Rewind fp means no matter at what location your imaginary pointer is, when you run this rewind, it will set the pointer in the beginning. It will set the pointer in the beginning. And so now pointer is over here. Now if I write this ftell, what location I am going to get? 0. And if I read the character, what character I am going to get? I. So I am going to get 0 and I. And then I close the file. So this is how you can access different characters randomly. Like if you want to go to 10th location, if you want to move 3 locations from back, or if you want to move 10 locations from initial position, then you can do it. And absec is a function that sets the imaginary cursor, imaginary pointer, and ftell function tells you the location number. getC and putC are for what? getC is for reading a particular character from the file, and putC is nothing but putting the character into the file. So with this, I conclude this chapter, I conclude this entire course. So I hope that you have understood this file management, the advanced concepts of file management, like random accessing the file, how to write entire structure into the file, how to read and write numbers from the file. And let me remind you again that all these programs that we have studied throughout the courses, I have put them on GitHub storage. So the link, you would find it in the description part of this video. So I hope you have enjoyed, and these videos have helped you in understanding the C course. Thank you very much, friends. I appreciate your time. Have a good day.